Hello out there, all you wonderful people. This is Andre, the Game Idea Guy. Thank you once again for lending me your time and your ear, listening into another Pitch for Switch discussion. And this one I'm actually stealing from TJ the Gamer of Master Sword Music because of the last Wing of the podcast. So you guys are going to be hearing this maybe a few weeks out from that, because I already had the Pitch for Switch videos already uploaded and waiting for their Friday release dates. But this idea I could not pass up on running with, and that was taking the Metroid formula and turning it into a horror game, but flipping it, where Samus is the monster and you play as a space pirate trying to escape her. And I love that concept. I love that idea, and I was like, I have to do this one. I have to do this one. So what I'm naming it is Metroid Prime The Hunted. Because obviously as a space pirate, you would be getting hunted by Samus. And I think if we could find a way to evoke the same feeling that everybody had when you were playing Metroid Fusion and you're running from the SAX, oh dude, that would be beautiful, and it can be done in the Metroid Prime style. Because all you're doing at this point is you're changing out the visor from Samus's to whatever the space pirates use. So that's something that has to be created. Most of the environments are already dark and gritty, sometimes distorted anyway. So you could theoretically be in the middle of Samus destroying like either a space station or a base on a planet. One of those scenarios. Actually, it could be multiple scenarios where you're just trying to run and escape her. And honestly, if they really want to fuck around with people, they could take different locations from every Metroid game and have the few space pirates that didn't think that they could fight her trying to find a way to run and escape. Because they're scared of her. They are horrified of her. Now, I would honestly, personally prefer if we were doing this with the latest version of Samus, the Dread version, because that's where she's at her most powerful right now, because of all of the developments of her suit. Yeah, she was weakened, but she got some powers that are well beyond where she was. So I would be very interested in seeing how you would be able to run and hide from her as a space pirate. Now, again, I would want the game to have the same first-person view as Metroid Prime. Only thing I would think would really need to be added in would be a mechanic to hide and cover. So you would have to switch it from first person to third person in those situations so that you can see around what you're doing. Sort of like what the Morph Ball does. When Samus goes into the Morph Ball and any of the Prime games, it switches to a third person's perspective. So I would be cool if they did something like that. That'd be awesome as all hell. And on top of that, it could be fun. And this is something that doesn't have to be a single player experience. This could be a multiplayer game, and this could be online. This could be a multiplayer online game for Metroid. And just thinking about how freaking scary that would be. You just see that the glow of the visor, and it's a dark room. Things are falling apart around you because she's already destroyed a bunch of shit. And she's destroying things like while she's searching out for pirates to just murk. She's just destroying things. So you'd have to have destructible environments, which is perfect for Metroid. You just see her blasting stuff, testing the integrity of different things before she goes in and tries to destroy it and ultimately get the kill. Bruh, I'd be for it. And then the horrifying moment you would be feeling as a player once she spots you and you gotta run and she is just on your ass. It's just one of those things, like, you see her, your ass is immediately booking to the closest door that you can get to. And obviously it would have to be a game mechanic where she stops after you cross through that door, and you get like maybe a 30-second reprieve before she comes into the room. So like she's stalking her prey. She's fucking with you, giving you a chance to try to run and see how far you can get. And your objective is to get from wherever you started out to an escape pod. That's your whole objective. You can't kill her. You can slow her down by attacking her, but you can't kill her. You can't stop her. There's nothing you can do that will stop her in her tracks. You can have a multitude of different weapons that will slow her down, but nothing that actually kills her because her armor is that far upgraded anyway. I love this premise, and I want to see Nintendo do it. I'm doubting that they will, but I would love to see them do it. And leave you with no option but to run for your life every time you encounter her. And this is something I could see the speedrunning community getting behind too, because once you figure out all the routes and you know how they operate, bro, that's scary. that is scary. But once you figure out all the routes and know how everything operates, you could potentially just book it before she even gets to you. And in those situations, I would think I would switch it to a haste mode, where if you start trying to speed run it, then she picks up the pace and hunts you harder. Just for the speed runners. Because you still want to create the tension of the game while people are trying to like speed through it and blitz their way out of a level. And then have her like, oh, you one of the smart ones. Okay, so I'll pay a little bit more attention to you and chase your ass a little bit harder. And one way that they could do it, they could have an objective-based system, sort of like what the GoldenEye and Perfect Dark did for the levels. So you have a set series of objectives you need to complete before you leave the level. So that also adds to your level of tension and stress, and then worry about what the hell can I get this done before she gets in here and finds me? All of that would be awesome to throw in there. And it's not like they don't have the talent at Retro to do it, because they most definitely do. And I would just be sitting there with a big grin on my face, watching people play this online, seeing people get murked mercilessly by Samus. Because you got to think of the multiple different ways she knows how to kill the space pirates. Like when she pins you down and just puts her cannon in your mouth and just blows your brains out, or you try to run and she guns you down by your back and you just fall to your knees in slow motion like in the old old 80s gangster flicks. But in this case, because of the hot plasma that's burning through your body, there are holes in you. Like literal holes. There's so many ways Samus can murder you. That's the thing that I think people don't really comprehend. There are so many ways that Samus can murder you. And hell, some of the objectives could be releasing some of the boss monsters to slow her down so you can escape. Depending on which one, you may have anywhere between 30 seconds to a full minute. Because she's that fast and that strong. So, again, adds to the tension, adds to the worry, and then you sitting there trying to be the one smart pirate and be like, nah, fuck this, I'm getting off this station. I am not staying here so that this monster of a woman can murder me and then walk by my corpse like I didn't matter. That's the thing that I think would be the most fun and interesting part of this, and I think a lot of people could get behind this. I so think a lot of people could get behind the idea of reversing the roles where you are a victim of Samus as one of the space pirates trying to escape. I think wholeheartedly a lot of people would love that concept. Oh man, I could just picture how it would look. I can imagine it. Now, one other thing I would say, if they aren't going to run a scenario where you're using different scenarios throughout the Metroid series, then this would have to be potentially a procedurally generated base that you're trying to escape. I know a lot of people don't like roguelikes, but in this situation, I think there would be room to make an exception. It's either you use different scenarios from different Metroid games and use those as the levels, or do a procedurally generated one. Now, if you're doing the set levels, then I think that the Bond/Perfect Dark system of objectives works better, because at higher levels there's more objectives to complete, which makes it harder to get through the levels. But if you're going to do procedurally generated, then there's no point in having, you can have the objectives, but you have to make the objects recognizable so that no matter what your playthrough, you can get them done and run off. And if they're procedurally generated, then that means they'll all have seeds, and you could theoretically input your own specific seed numbers and recreate the area that you were in and redo it. That's also an option. Again, I'm just spitballing here, and there was just a couple things that hit my mind that I figured I'd mention towards the end. Either way, in either scenario, this would be an awesome game. So I'm going to leave that there. If anybody has any thoughts or opinions on this one, please drop them in the comments. Otherwise, thank you guys very much for listening in. Keep your eyes and ears out for more stuff from me, and until the next time, enjoy your games. Peace out, everybody. This is Andre, the Game Idea Guy, and I'd like to thank you once again for tuning in. If you would be interested in supporting my efforts in content creation, please head on over to Amazon and look up The Game Idea Guy Presents Gaming Word Search, and you will find both Volume 1 and Volume 2 up for sale. Thank you very much once again, and I hope to be able to create more content for you in the future. Peace out.